Hour because we have breaking news to bring you. This is a school shooting here in North Texas. We just confirmed that a few moments ago at Bowie High School in Arlington. You're looking at a map here if you're not familiar with the area since we zoomed down so quickly there. This is south of I-20, just west of 360. We have confirmed that there was a shooting there outside near the portable buildings. You can see some video right now. This from HD Chopper 8 of the scene. We have a police response in place there as authorities make their way onto the scene and try to get a handle on what is going on there. We want to bring in Rebecca Lopez, our senior crime and justice reporter here at WFAA, who has been working her sources for these last several minutes frantically here, trying to get more information because, Rebecca, we know, having seen this so many times now, that parents are going to be hungry for information right now. What do you know at this point?
Well, what we're hearing from sources and a teacher actually at the school is that a student or someone has been shot outside the portable buildings, and this happened just before school let out. They let out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and so it was just before school was letting out, and there was a shooting, and we are told that the student is in grave condition right now. They are obviously in lockdown. They're going to delay the students being dismissed, and also they're working on reunification, which is a process that happens when we unfortunately see this happen so often. They're waiting to see where they're going to reunite the parents and the students. There's obviously a plan. Now, there are school resource officers on Arlington campus. They do have their own police department, but you can see there, they also have the Arlington police that are there at the scene at this time. Very scary situation. Now, I'm told, obviously, because we're dealing with portables, no one has to go through a metal detector, and in fact, a lot of people know how to gain access to this area of the school because it is pretty open. You could be a former student, you could be a current student. I was speaking to an expert a while ago who is very well versed in police shootings, unfortunately, because he's been to many, many scenes, and he says, look, when there's one student shot, chances are this is going to be targeted. We saw something similar to this at Wilmer Hutchins last week when there was a student that was shot there, and we know that the students knew each other. He says, look, Rebecca, if we thought that this was something random, you would probably have seen more people shot. So he thinks that this is probably going to be one of those situations where these two students, or a student and a teacher, or somebody knows each other in this situation. Again, we don't know anything about a suspect or if there's a suspect in custody at this time. We just know that there is someone that has been shot near those portable buildings. I'm being told by a teacher that it is a student, and that's what we have right now. You can see people standing outside there waiting for information. I'm sure those are parents. As we know, I've been to many, many of these, unfortunately, and the parents, swarm to school. They want to know, is my child okay? It's a very scary situation.
It's important in these situations, since we've been through so many of these, it's important to share everything we know, and of course the things we don't know as well, just to make sure that parents at home are hearing this correctly too, because I think that our minds tend to jump when we hear school shooting. We tend to think of active shooter, we think of multiple people possibly involved. At this point, we're not hearing anything as far as active shooter, according to your sources anyway, and at this point we're hearing about potentially one student who has been hit by gunfire?
Yes, one student. I'm told that student is not doing well at all. This is a very grave situation. This student is in very critical condition. It is a tough situation out there for everyone involved. Again, you can see that portable building, but my sources are saying that there's not an active shooter. They're not looking for someone still in the school or on the property at the school, and we don't know at this point, if they even have a suspect. But again, this happened just before school was about to let out, right near that area that's very open. Like anyone can walk right on up there to that area.
Okay, so So important information there, Rebecca. Of course, everything is relative, but it has to bring at least a little bit of relief if you're a parent listening to this and your child attends Bowie High School there in Arlington to hear that this is not, at least at this point, being treated as an active shooter situation where you still have something unfolding there. But again, that is relatively speaking, because as you mentioned, it appears, at least from sourcing here, that at least one student or at least one person has been gravely injured here, and that things are not looking good. Let's bring in Tanya Iser here, who's in studio with me. And Tanya, this is tracking very much with what your sources are telling you as well.
It is, and every time we have one of these situations, Jason, the information is trickling in, and we're trying to be very careful about what we report and how we report it, making sure that we're not reporting rumors, right? So because we don't want to incite additional fear. But what we do know is that law enforcement they have locked down this school. They're going to be going room to room, checking it, and we don't know at this point. Do they have the shooter in custody? Who was the shooter? How did this happen? We also know from the school shooting 8 days ago at Wilmer Hutchins that in that case they were able to get past the metal detectors.
Right.
And we still don't know exactly how that happened.
Yeah, that was an interior inside the school. This is a little bit different situation, as Rebecca was talking about, where we've got a scene that unfolded outside the portables there, which may be much less secure than the inside of a school. But again, everything's relative. We were just talking a little more than a week ago about the inside of a school that had metal detectors installed, and still somehow a gun got in.
Well, and high schools are very large, right? They have lots of buildings, and it ultimately difficult to protect and prevent someone from getting a gun on campus. I think schools do the best they can, but this is the kind of thing that shows the difficulty with, somebody who, did this person have that gun on them all day? Did they go to their car and bring it? And, there's just so much we don't know, and that's what makes this so hard. And, the lawmakers did pass legislation in the last session that mandated that schools have additional armed security on campuses, and school districts across the state have been struggling to hire additional police officers, armed security to get them on campus. We don't know.
Well, and to come up with the money, too. This was an unfunded mandate from the state that didn't come with the total funding to cover that cost. And so a lot of districts have been scrounging, looking for the funding for that. But as Rebecca was just saying there, this school did have that security force. And even then, you can't harden it enough. If someone is determined to commit an act of violence, you may not be able to harden it enough in a situation like this if they're able to get their hands on a gun like this.